The Grand Canyon Railway has been transporting visitors to the Grand Canyon for over 100 years. Today, me and Cheryl are going to try it out, so come and join us. We'll stay at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel, dine in style at the Fred Harvey restaurant, and explore the South Rim just as visitors did over 100 years ago. Our day will be packed with history, amazing views, and maybe even a train robbery. Tourists first arrived at the Grand Canyon by train in 1901. The railroad ceased operations in the 1960s, but in 1989, it was brought back as a fun, nostalgic experience. The train travels from Williams, Arizona to the Grand Canyon Village, which is inside the national park. Okay, we arrived in Williams, and we are checking in at the Grand Canyon Railway and Hotel. Tomorrow we're going to ride the Grand Canyon train. This is a really beautiful lobby. We are just checking in right now, and we're going to go eat dinner, and then I just want to hang out in the lobby by that big fireplace. The large paintings of the Grand Canyon definitely build the excitement. And the massive fireplace provides a cozy atmosphere to hang out in. There are several original oil paintings of the canyon and some reproductions of sculptures by the famous Western artist Frederick Remington to get you in the mood. The hotel has nearly 300 rooms and there are several train packages to choose from. We did the one-night stay, but you can also stay 2 nights in the Railway Hotel or 1 night in the Railway Hotel and 1 night at the South Rim inside the park. You'll definitely want to browse through their options online. Although the hotel feels old and authentic, it was built in the 1990s and it has all the modern comforts. Our room was extremely clean and modern. Okay, so we're here at the Fred Harvey restaurant. This is included with our package for the train ride. I got some live music going on over here. Okay, so I actually didn't realize this, but it is a buffet. This feels homey. You got a fireplace over there. It's nice. I feel like my kids would love this because they'd get to just load up on anything that they're interested in.
We are so excited to get a real dinner. We've been eating nothing but peanut butter sandwiches the last 2 days, and now we get the real thing. And this Fred Harvey grill is really good. This guy made me the special pasta tonight, and he makes his own sauce. I'm so excited, and we're getting to listen to some great music. It's a great way to end the day.
This restaurant is named after the famous Fred Harvey. Fred Harvey built restaurants all along the Santa Fe rail line to provide fresh food to those early tourists. His restaurants were called Harvey Houses, and they were staffed by waitresses called Harvey Girls. Fred Harvey and the Santa Fe Railway were so closely connected and such an important part of building up the national park for tourists that if you visit the Grand Canyon today, you'll still see their names often. Okay, it's day 3 of our trip. So we got here to Williams, Arizona last night, and we stayed right there in the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel. Today we are going to get breakfast as part of the package at the Fred Harvey restaurant. And then we are going to go watch a little Wild West show. Then we're going to take the train to the Grand Canyon South Rim. That's going to be pretty fun. It's about 2 hours each way, the ride is. And we'll spend a couple of hours at the rim and come back. All right, Cheryl's gonna be a Harvey girl. But remember, Harvey girls can't get married. Are you even hungry after last night's buffet dinner?
No, this will be like our meal of the day.
Yeah, it's true. We were here pretty late last night, so there was hardly anybody in the dining room. But this morning, this place is packed. A lot of people here. But they've got the buffet, so it moves pretty quickly. We've been trying everything. I guess they're kind of known for their asparagus with hollandaise sauce. That was actually good. French toast is what called the Harvey Girls French Toast.
The Santa Fe.
Oh, this is Santa Fe French Toast named after the railroad line. This ATFS or ATSF is the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway. We are out here wandering around the train station. This is the train depot. What's interesting about this used to be one of those Harvey houses. This was a restaurant for the Santa Fe Railroad. They since turned this into the actual train depot for the Grand Canyon Railway. Okay, we've arrived here a little early at the little Wild West town, they're calling this. They're gonna put on a little show before we go. We gathered for this Wild West show while the train was getting ready. We expected it to be pretty lame, but it made us laugh several times and it seemed to loosen up the crowd for the train ride.
Hold on. You can't tell that story here today. These skills are going to come in handy later, I promise.
Okay, how was the show?
Well, it included some dad jokes, and they weren't afraid to like poke fun at some things that we normally don't poke fun at. But I guess we're in the West, right? That's how it goes.
I'm just making fun of Alec Baldwin. Who doesn't? But the show was actually funny.
They had some pretty good little jokes, and it was just kind of a fun, lighthearted little thing.
And the good guys won.
The good guys won.
The sheriff won.
Yeah, I guess so. Kind of like the bad guys.
The bad guys are great.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see more of them, by the way.
Yeah, I've heard there may be a train robbery. We'll see.
Okay, now we're ready to board the train here. I've got our passes, our train passes here, and we are going to take a coach car on the way up to the Grand Canyon. On the way back, I think we're like at the top, like a more luxury cabin, so we'll compare those two. This is the Mary Coulter car here. We're going to be riding that on the way back up to the top there. We are kind of blown away by the number of people here getting on this train.
Yeah, like it's not dozens, hundreds. We've got our workers with the white gloves, the conductors, taking our tickets just like guests from 100 years ago that were fancy people. Hi. Hey.
Hello.
Have a beautiful day today.
Okay.
We were like at the very front of the train.
Ooh.
12 AC. I wonder if it's going to be loud.
123 years ago, you had your ticket in hand.
And we're off. Wave goodbye to the bad guys. The train station is right in the middle of the small town of Williams. It doesn't take long to get into the countryside.
So, welcome aboard.
Our destination is the Grand Canyon National Park. So thank you for riding the Grand Canyon Railway today.
The sheriff stopped by because he thought I looked suspicious. The deputy thinks that I'm going to cause trouble by getting too close to the rim and trying to pee off the ledge of the rim.
He was profiling you.
He was. Yeah.
Says you're the type.
Yeah, he's seen me before.
Make noise!
There are no views of the Grand Canyon from the train, but I loved the wide open and remote desert views throughout. We rode the coach car on the way there, which is about $90 round trip. Let's take a look around the train a little bit here. This is the snack car, which is accessible from all the other cars on the train. And of course they have a bunch of snacks here that you can buy and some free water, which is nice. Now I'm walking from one car to the next here, which is the Pullman car. This is the cheapest of the cars because it does not have air conditioning. It's about $70 per adult round trip.
We loaded this train at 9:30 this morning. It's about 11:20 right now, and so we've got about 20 minutes left of our ride. You can see out my window, there's a lot of views of like pines and rocks and desert. We've seen some cute prairie dogs. It's not the most scenic train I've ever been on, but I do want to say this is the best train I've ever been on. The seats are comfy. We have places to put our stuff. Every cart has its own narrator, and so it's been really neat to hear the history of the Grand Canyon and a little bit about the things we're seeing and we're going to see. This train is actually very quiet. We've got really nice big windows, and this has been just a fun ride so far.
Let us know in the comments what your favorite train ride was and tell us if you would like us to go cover it. Okay, we're now arriving in the historic Grand Canyon Village, which we're going to explore for the next 3 hours. This is the log depot, one of only 3 log depots in the entire country. Boom, are you ready for this?
We have a little mission. You get 3.5 hours to see the Grand Canyon. So I have right here our walking tour of the Grand Canyon. Now, Matt is the author of this, not me. And so we're trying a little experiment to see if I can lead us around the Grand Canyon.
We had a lot of fun doing this walking tour in which we'll see cool historic buildings, learn fun stories, and even hike into the canyon a little bit. This is a very short version of the village tour. If you'd like me to publish a video with a longer version, let me know because I'd love to share more about it. This is a map of the Grand Canyon Village. Starting at the train depot, we're going to explore some historical sites and buildings along the rim of the canyon before circling back by the mule barn on our way back to the train depot. By the way, if you want to do this walking tour, you can check out our website, we'reintherockies.com, for our Grand Canyon guide. This is the famous El Tovar Hotel, which is the centerpiece of the Grand Canyon Village. Okay, so since pretty much the whole crowd's going there to El Tovar, we're gonna come back to that, and right now we're gonna go over to the Hopi House. This is the Hopi House, and it was built to look like a Hopi Pueblo. It has always been a gift shop with Native American artwork. It's been here at the village since 1905.
I was really drawn to the ceiling because it's made out of like mud and
Thatch stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool in there. And kind of low ceilings, and there's different levels, and then the sun is kind of in there designed to kind of keep the building cool but light it.
Okay, so the Hopi House is just really a few feet from the rim of the canyon here. This is so incredible. All those tourists out there on the point. All right, we're gonna see plenty of the Grand Canyon here, but we're gonna keep going on our little village walking tour.
Our next stop is Verkamps, and they sold like little trinkets to travelers, and this family ran this little souvenir shop for years and years and years, and then when they finally decided to retire, they made it a visitor center. I have a soft spot in my heart for Verkamps, which was a small gift shop competitor to the Hopi House. The park wanted to kick them out, but the family-run business hung in there for over 100 years, making it the oldest family-run concession in the entire National Park Service. Did you know that Grand Canyon Village has a high school with sports teams? Weather is insanely nice today, and this view is one of my favorites. Okay, this wall right here was built in the 1930s by the CCC. The Harvey girls were under contract not to marry. The legend is one of the CCC workers who was building this wall, and one of the Harvey girls had fallen in love, and she was staying in that building right there, and so the CCC worker installed a heart-shaped rock just for this Harvey girl so that she could see it from her room. Even though they were not allowed to marry, the legend is that these two married anyway. All right, we got a perfect breeze coming up from the canyon today. What's the temperature? I think it's like 62. It's so nice.
Our next stop is the Bright Angel Lodge, which is the more economical option to El Tovar. It's still kind of rustic and cool and unique to the Grand Canyon. Okay, this is the history room in the Bright Angel Lodge, which has a lot of the Fred Harvey and Harvey girls' history here. You can see a uniform that they wore.
This fireplace it's like the Grand Canyon. Like the Grand Canyon is filled with layers of rock, just from oldest to youngest, and it's just like this here. You start at the bottom and you work your way up, and these are different rocks from different eras of rocks, and they were actually taken from the Grand Canyon.
While we were here, Cheryl checked in for her mule ride tomorrow, which will be in our next video.
We're looking down at the Bright Angel Trail, and people can hike down here, and then they can actually climb up the North Rim. But below, it is 92 degrees at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Like, I think for like every 1,000 feet that you add like 4 or so degrees. And so it's wicked hot down there. I cannot believe that.
6,000 feet down, so that's
Yeah.
like 25-degree difference or something.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Lookout Studio is our next stop. This little building is built right on the edge of the canyon, and if you walk out behind it here, there's a couple of viewing spots to look down into Bright Angel Canyon there. From here, we can also look back at El Tovar on the edge of the canyon. Lookout Studio was built to be a direct competitor to our next stop, Kolb Studio. I mentioned that the Verkamps was one independent operator at the Grand Canyon Village. The other was the Kolb brothers. These two brothers are absolute legends. These brothers were daredevils who explored the Grand Canyon with their camera and video camera. The photos and videos of their daring adventures helped promote the Grand Canyon to tourists. One of the highlights for visitors was to watch a silent movie of their rafting trip through the canyon while Emery Kolb himself narrated it in their presence. We showed this film every day to tourists, and since it was their silent film of them going through the canyon on the rapids, he would just narrate it. So like Emery was a total tourist attraction in and of himself. Okay, here's their raft with a cork life vest in it. How about that? The big trip. The legendary brothers. The Kolb brothers set up their studio right here on the edge of the canyon, and as people would do mule rides down the canyon, they'd take their photos and then they would get them developed before the end of their ride, kind of like they do on roller coaster rides today. In order to develop those photos, they had to run down to Indian Gardens, about like 4 miles down the canyon, and run back up before the end of the ride. Okay, while we're here at the trailhead, we're gonna walk down and maybe catch 1 or 2 of the tunnels. Next to the Kolb Studio is the trailhead for the Bright Angel Trail, where they would take the photos of the mule riders. The trail today is a popular and difficult hiking trail. Just look at the switchbacks on this thing that go forever. We don't have time to do that, of course, so we're just going to walk down to the first tunnel.
When we go hiking in national parks, you always see these happy hikers. They're hiking, they're smiling, except the Grand Canyon. You start at the top, you go down. It's like getting dessert before dinner. You get the views, you're walking down the hill. It's amazing. But when it's time to come up, it sucks because it's a super steep incline and all you have to look at is the rest of the trail. So I'd say that the Grand Canyon is not a happy hiker's park.
All right, here we are at the Maswick Lodge. Okay, so something kind of cool about Maswick is this food court. So they have a lot of food options for you. This one has them all kind of in one spot in the court. We're having a little bit of sticker shock here. That's about $18 for a burrito or a taco. $24 for a pizza. Not cheap here at the Maswick Lodge. Okay, they gouged me for whatever, for a little Nestle drumstick, but we're just sitting outside the Maswick Lodge here, and
Life is good.
life is
Life
good,
is
man.
good.
We're just hanging out. It's great being here at the Grand Canyon. Beautiful. Time to get back on the trail here and finish our walking tour and watch Cheryl smell more trees.
Okay, but this is kind of a little secret, and it's actually a smell that is amazing at the Grand Canyon. So this is a ponderosa pine right here, and we're here in the spring. I know that they kind of vary throughout the year, but if you take a good smell of a ponderosa pine, it will smell like vanilla and butterscotch. And this one right here smells just like butterscotch.
All right, this is the forested area just off of the rim. Are you loving your walk?
Oh yeah, my favorite part is smelling the trees. I'm a tree smeller.
All right, the mule barn. Yay, we get to see all the mules. That's what that mule thinks.
We're at the livery stables, and mules have been taking people down to Fountain Ranch since the early 1900s. And a lot of times people wonder, well, why mules and not horses? Well, Mules are pretty special. So a mule is a mixture between a male donkey and a female horse. And they like it this way because from the male donkey, they get like this intelligence and the strength. And from the female horse, they get the desire to go on adventures. They freely give of their energy. So it's a really good combination because they need that strength and they need that intelligence to not spook so easily like a horse. But then the mother has that adventurous spirit that raises the little baby mules.
Whoa, look out. Okay, our last stop here is El Tovar Hotel. This hotel was and is the fancy hotel at the Grand Canyon South Rim. And it also sits very close to the edge of the canyon. El Tovar was built by the Santa Fe Railway to accommodate those who arrived on their trains. Most of those people were wealthy Easterners who were used to visiting Europe, so they incorporated some Swiss chalet elements into the design, something the travelers were used to. But they also wanted to highlight Western styles, so they made it a log cabin with lots of taxidermy inside. I like the mix of styles personally. The inside is dark and definitely feels old and rustic. It has a lower lobby and an upper level, as well as a dining room. Look into the lobby. Oh, there's the buffalo head.
At El Tovar, there's over 100 rooms, and I believe that this is a boutique hotel, which means that no two rooms are the same. This is by far the nicest place to stay. But one thing that surprises me about all of the lodges at the Grand Canyon South Rim is that none of them have a view into the Grand Canyon from the lobby.
All over here at the Grand Canyon, you'll see huge portraits in honor of Fred Harvey. We had quite the whirlwind tour of the Grand Canyon Village, but we still found some time to hang out on the deck of the El Tovar and enjoy views of the Grand Canyon. Okay, and our last stop is the depot, where we are going to board our train for the return trip. This depot is something like the oldest log depot in the country. It's very well maintained, really cool on the outside, little gift shop and stuff on the inside there. Okay, now it's time to hop back on the train, but remember that we're getting a different experience on the way back because we booked the Sky Dome car. We have totally been bumped up a class. Charcuterie. So excited?
So excited.
Okay, all our little snacks here that are included in our cart. Now, one thing to know, the roof is short. I'm almost hitting my head. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm almost hitting my head on it. All right, here comes the robbers. Looks like they're holding up the train here.
Start right back here in the caboose. This is a money type operation. I can't feed my horses, little jolly ranchers. Where's the good stuff now? Folding bills, jingling money, gold, silver, wallets, and wine. Come on now, man. I know it's in there somewhere. No touchy. That's just trash. Try a little harder. I know they don't let poor people this far back on the train.
Folks, if you happen to see that marshal, we went. Man, we're in the middle of an active crime scene. This is no time for jocularity, man.
Okay, that was a little wild. So let's now go check out some of the other parts of the train. So from the Sky Dome, we can walk through this car, which is the luxury dome, to get to the very back of the train where we can see the train tracks. One of the cool experiences of the luxury ticket is that you get to come out on the back deck. This is actually really cool. I've never been out here on a train like this where I can see the tracks. And it makes me want to climb up on top of this train because in every Western movie I've ever seen, they always have a fight scene up on top of the train. Cheryl says it feels a lot faster out on the back. We discovered that on the lower level of the same car there were spacious couches for us to sit. We made some friends with a couple who moved down here because they were tired of the talkative fellows sitting knee to knee with them up above. Okay, so far we have enjoyed the bottom of the luxury car much more than the top of the luxury car. The top has those windows, which is nice, and the bottom has these really spacious couches and chairs, and you're not sitting right kind of knee to your neighbors.
We're now riding in the luxury dome of the Grand Canyon Railway. I feel like we've been put in a time machine and we're traveling like people did 100 years ago. This is how the wealthy visitors would visit the Grand Canyon. It's been so fun today because we've been learning about Fred Harvey, and they would have terrible food at all of these stops. And he got thinking, these travelers, they need better services. And so he started finding ways to serve these people. He prepared amazing food, and he did it quickly because the visitors only had a short time at each of these train stops. And he got the Harvey girls, which were the highest class of servers that just always looked so nice, beautiful single women that would serve these travelers. And I feel like we have had a little slice of what it must have been like to travel back then. We slept at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel last night. Our room was beautiful. We had a wonderful dinner in the Fred Harvey restaurant with a buffet of all sorts of wonderful foods. We were serenaded at dinner. You know, we woke up, we got a wonderful breakfast there. We caught the train, we were entertained, we saw a show. And I think this is what travelers experienced 100 years ago. And it's been a really special experience to do that today. What an amazing adventure. And tomorrow, more of the Grand Canyon. Check out our next video.
We'll put that video here when it's ready. You can also watch the previous day when we walked on the Grand Canyon Skywalk here. If you're planning a trip to the Grand Canyon, watch this video here. Thanks for watching, and until next time, go west, young traveler.